What's going on, Jerome's? Man. So there is so much to unpack in this game. And frankly, the league should be embarrassed. The league should straight up be embarrassed where I don't think that the league is rigged. But games like this do give a little bit credence for people who think that it is. And it was just so pathetic that every single major call went against the Vikings. Now, the Vikings, yeah, they made mistakes, and you have to play better than the ref's ref. And, the Josh Oliver fumble, the Vikings receivers dropping 7 passes, including 3 by Hawkinson, the highest paid tight end in NFL history, and offensive line getting free rushes on Kirk. People are going to blame Kirk for this game because they already have their minds made up. Like, they're going to be like, oh, why can't you just throw it up on the Hail Mary? With what? The receivers weren't into the routes. Offensive line didn't give me any time. Kirk Cousins balled the F out today. He did. With rushers in his face all day. He was sacked 3 times. He was hit a dozen times. His receivers dropped 7 passes. Madison catches that screen. We win. And also no JJ in the fourth quarter. But again, people who already have their mind made up will just say blah, 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 Kirk Cousins. But the officiating in this was so horrifically bad because there was 4 moments in this game that completely changed it. So before halftime, the Watson call where he got 0 goose egg D'Angelo Russell feet inbounds, where at best, maybe you could say he had 1. He did not get 2. 0% chance he got 2. If you got a question or a comment, toss a couple of bucks in Super Chat. Travis, Lorenz, $2. Did Cousins give up before the sack? Nah, he was just scrambling and gambling. Spags actually sent a good T&E stunt, and frankly, is one of those spots where usually the quarterback just steps up in the pocket for the Hail Mary, but Spags cut that off. So, I mean, props to them. It was a good call for them. But, all right, so 4 spots where there was complete malfeasance. The Watson catch before the half, setting the Chiefs up for that field goal. Then you had the Harrison Smith DPI and MVS, where it was clear. It was clear that MVS grabbed onto Harrison and took him for a ride, right? And also, in what world do we live in where MVS, Marquez Valdez freaking Scantling, is getting calls like that? So stupid. So stupid. That was on 4th down. And then the L'Jarius Sneed DPI on Jordan Addison, where you could have called defensive holding, you could have called DPI, you could have called whatever. Either way, you would have been good to go, but they decided to pick it up because they thought that the ball was tipped. Even though clearly on replay, which they didn't check, the ball was not tipped. And then L'Jarius Sneed takes his helmet off to yell at the ref, and instead of throwing the flag, because even though it's a change of possession, dead ball, whatever, even if the Chiefs would have got the ball, they would have lost 15 yards of field position, which would have been maybe important at the end of the game. But instead of the ref, who should have correctly thrown the flag on Sneed for unsportsmanlike conduct, taking his helmet off on the field of play, he tells him to put his helmet on instead of throwing the flag and giving the Vikings 15 yards. You can't make this up. Again, 4 clear spots where, again, this is what's tragic about this. I mean, we're not even talking about the game. We're talking about 4 spots where the refs every single time, and the Chiefs needed every single one of these calls to go their way, where it just decided the game. And it's pathetic, man. It really is. Cy Levang View, $2 Super Jack. Caleb Williams, fire KOC. I mean, there's some really good things about Kevin O'Connell today, and there are some really bad things. We'll get into it. Tanjiro, $10. In my opinion, this confirms the NFL is at least somewhat rigged. I mean, it's hard not to make that case. Yeah, It's kind of rough, man. So, Vikings overall, 10 takeaways, which turning the ball over again. I mean, it's ridiculous. So the Vikings have 8 fumbles on the season. It's game 5. And you can't even make this up. Like, how does Josh Oliver rip off that great catch and run and then just fumble and turf it on the first play? I mean, that was the only drive that the Chiefs had any traction on in the first half. That's where they got that touchdown. Aiden Andrews, $10 New Zealand. Prayers are for JJ. We hurt ourselves today, but we're a great team. Put your helmet on. That's right. I completely lost in shuffles what happened to JJ, and we'll get into this freaking turf, man. Joe Johnson, $5. I think Flores brings pressure too much sometimes. We could have had 3 and out to start the half. The team is too good. Put it together. Yeah, well, sort of hindsight. I mean, generally teams sit back and play coverage on 3rd and 18, but Flores decided to bring some stank, and they converted, and then they marched and turned into a touchdown. It was just rough, man. Just kind of rough all the way around. Grant Franzenberg, there was illegal hands to the face on C.J. Ham on the missed pass interference. It's probably fair. Yeah, C.J. did have that blitz pickup, and if he got jacked right in the face, I mean, that's a foul too. Didn't see that in real time, but turn the ball over again. Mahomes and Kelsey are as advertised, even though Kelsey, with his maybe over-dramatic ankle injury, looked pretty fine to me in the second half. Mahomes is just a freaking magician, and what can you do in that spot? And you do have to play better than the ref's ref. Again, we started off with a jag on officiating, and I think that's the easy thing to go to, but it was blatantly obvious. But the Vikings still had a chance to outperform that and still get a W. Right? Defense was good on Mahomes for a while, and then not so much, especially start the second half. Did get that stop late, which is great. Kirk Cousins balled. But he will get blamed for this game because that's how the fan base works. So Kirk was 29 of 47, 284, 2 touchdowns, 92.9 quarterback rating, all while getting sacked 3 times. Yeah, it's kind of rough all the way around. Hockenson is straight up bad right now. Like, I understand that Hockenson also got dinged up towards the end, but it was right after another drop. I mean, 5 catches for 51 on 8 targets, and the 3 he didn't reel in were just drops. It's just... So he had the fumble and then the tip interception against the Chargers. He had a whatever game against the Panthers, and now he has 3 drops against the Chiefs. It's just pathetic at this point, man. Madison did some good things today. I had that 1 touchdown, but, I mean, that drop of what would have been a walk-in score to tie the game. I mean, if the Vikings get that, they don't need 4th down. They don't need L'Jarius Sneed being a dumbass and the refs actually officiating correctly and fairly. They don't need that. But second big drop for Madison in the red zone. It's kind of rough, man. Garrett Roseborough, $5. I could name 4 calls on the defense that last play. I mean... There's a lot of things you can point to, but at the end of the day, the Vikings didn't take care of their own business, right? And like everyone knew, like going into this game, that the refs were just going to be atrocious, and they're going to give every benefit of the doubt to the Chiefs, and they did. It's not shocking. Alex Tashos, $3 Canadian. What up? O'Connell was good and bad today. So O'Connell was good, offensive play calling, but a lot of soft game management issues have been a problem with him. Whether it's that horrifically bad challenge, which who is relaying things to him from the booth? I mean, because clearly Kelsey was down, so took away the challenges the rest of the game, burned a timeout. They burned a timeout on their first drive in the second half. They used their last timeout with 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and also not having to take a delay a game on the second to last drive. It's just all these. Again, I understand that people just want to blame Kirk Cousins, and Kirk should shoulder a part of this blame, but also it comes down to coaching. It comes down to situational football, and I don't know if Kevin O'Connell has enough seasoning for that yet. That's a drawback of hiring these young Wunderkind coaches. Like, they haven't seen everything yet. It's tough. But what's so frustrating about this team? It's not like the Chiefs came in and beat the Vikings 52-10. What team does that to a Minnesota football team? So the Vikings could have easily won this game, and at times they were the better team. I mean, first half, even with the Oliver fumble, the Vikings, you can make a very good case they were the better football team. But still 0-4 in single score games, and now allegedly 1-4. And it doesn't matter how close these games are. It doesn't matter how close the point differential is. It really doesn't matter. But they can't get out of their own way. And what's frustrating is that this is a very talented football team, as we've seen. Hadrian, $5, and your podcast keeps me sane some days, but then this team ruins it. Honestly, just feel like ignore the rest of the season. Either way, thank you. Hey, thank you. Hey, we can talk about draft stuff. Shedeur Sanders. BB from Kansas State, the guard. Let's go, man. It's just, yeah, man. Redfield Weather, $2. Start Cam, start Reisner, start Oliver. Thoughts? Start Reisner, yes. I mean, you can work Cam in a little bit more. I don't think Cam drops that screen. And, they're not going to bench Reisner after making him the highest paid tight end in NFL history. Ain't going to happen. But, it's just really rough all the way around. Hopefully JJ's hamstring is no big deal. And we'll go from there. And now the Vikings, of course, going on the road against the Bears, who are suddenly resurgent, actually looking really damn good. Man. Jeremiah Lawrence, $20 super chat. JJ can't catch contested passes. JJ looked off all day. Time management head coach, 0 timeouts. Madison again drops another. Yes, agreed on the helmet and ref whispering him to put it on. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, how do you not throw the flag? Like, honestly, how does that ref not get reprimanded? Because even if the pickup of the penalty stood, the Chiefs should have lost 15 yards of field position, which could have been a big deal later in this game. But they didn't. Ref literally said, put your helmet on. God. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, man. All right. I think overall, what can you do? Like, again, you'd almost rather get beaten like 40-3 because then wrap it up, blow it up, that whole thing. But again, this team is too talented, and the Bears game is going to be tough. The Niners game is obviously going to be tough. But like we said, weeks 8-14, could the Vikings go on a run? Could they reel off 6 wins in a row? I think it is possible, given the schedule. But we'll see, man. We'll see. But overall, it's like, I know that everyone's going to blame Kirk. Wasn't Kirk's fault today. No, not with all the drop passes, not with the fumbles, not with the questionable officiating, dubious officiating, I guess. It's rough. It's rough, man. Anyways, that's it. That's it for the postgame show. We'll be back with winners and losers in a hot second. You guys are the best. Keep Skull alive. Still love this community. Win, lose, or draw, still got each other. Or something like that. Anyways, that's it. Skull Production.